Good morning. My name is Christopher Terry, CEO of iMarkets Live, and we're doing a class on Fibonacci, basic Fibonacci, and going to show you how to use it on MetaTrader 4. So we have our live room. I could just want to just peek in here a little bit. Oh, I'm not able to bring it in, but I would like to, but I can't do it. For some reason, it's not allowing me. So anyway, we have members watching us. So when you're looking at Fibonacci, let's just look here on your MetaTrader 4. You can go Insert up here, Fibonacci, retracements. Hold your mouse key down and you could drag it. So you do it again, Insert, Fibonacci, retracement, come anywhere, left mouse key down, hold it, and drag it. As you see, that's how it works. You go from the bottom to the top. All right. Now, when we look at Fibonacci, the standard Fibonacci retracement levels are, and we're going to get rid of, we'll add them later, but I'll show you what it is. Hold on a second. Just want to make sure everything's set up here by default. Okay. Now, the standard Fibonacci that comes with MetaTrader 4 is 23.6, 38.2, 0.50, 0.618. And it has all these other numbers with it. So what you can do right here is go add and 0.7. You can go 0.786. And then here you double click 78.6. And I'm showing you how to do this. Go add 0.886. 88.6. All right. And you can put any color you want here. I'm going to show you how to make this work. With MetaTrader 4, right here, you have this dotted line. You double click it, and you see how it highlights, right? What's interesting with this is you can move it around like that, or you can drag it from the bottom, or drag it from the top. And this is standard levels that you want to put in with Fibonacci to use. So if you were to go and take their Fibonacci tool, drop it down, hold it, and draw it up. All right, that's one way to do it. So let's take a look. If you're going from high to low, you come, left click, hold it down, and draw it down. See that? And then if you're going from down to up, double click. Oh, we're about execution today. Double click with your left mouse key, right click, delete. So those of you that are watching in the room, what we're doing is I'm recording this so you have the ability to do this also later on. All right, you don't have to, that's not right now. So you don't have to worry about if you're missing anything. So I'm going to send it out an email anyway. Okay, left mouse key, hold it down. Just want to show you how to use this to start. All right. So this is your Fibonacci tool. If you want the retracements up or down. Okay, now I'm going to show you everything how to use it today. Just sit back and be patient. So Fibonacci, the Fibonacci tool, as you see here, is used to identify support and resistance. For instance, go down to the bottom, hold it with the left mouse key, draw it up. Okay, right to the top. Let's stop. And the 50% line is pretty important. And if you guys notice when we trade in the futures, a lot of times I use the 50% line. I use the 50% line, I use the 25%, 50%, 75%. That's Gann's work. And with Gann and Fib, they both use Fibonacci, this 50% line, all right, halfway point. So most important things are your 0 or your 100, your 1, your 0, and your 50. So 100, 0, and 50. That's pretty much the basics, um, important ones to watch. Now, Fibonacci, we have a couple of different levels to watch. And 23.6, I'm not going to get into the reasons today. I'm not going to get into reasons today. Yes, depending on the direction. But these are the numbers to use. And what we'll do is we'll do another class on the numbers. As a matter of fact, I have a class on the numbers, and I'll show that to you later. 23.6, 38.2, 50%, 61.8. Then we have 786, 886, and 100. Everything is based off of this number right here. All right, we literally could take this number and do an inverse to it. We can do a square root with it. We could do 2 times it, which would be 2618 divided by 1 would give us 38.6. So there's all these little fun things that we can do with the numbers, which we're not going to do today. I just want to show you what we do with them. Now, sort of like you don't worry about how the car was built. You just want to know how to drive it. All right. And then later on, you can get more education on that. And we look at Fibonacci. We look at Fibonacci and we look at the trend and we look at the retracement. We look at levels of retracement for the market when to buy and sell. All right. So let's remove this again. So depending on the trend is low to high, you're looking for a retracement. Low to high, you got the retracement. And likewise, you can take it from here, low, and you could draw this, you could drag it. High, I'm just showing you how to use the tool. Right click, delete. Right? So, that being said, we typically look at Fibonacci in where we could find support or resistance. We look at a lot of things that go into it. So, like I said, we'll just keep it the basics. Let me see if I could find. No, I won't be able to do it now, guys. I'll be able to do it after the class. But if you look, those are in the recording. If you look at the back office, you have market geometry classes. And those market geometry classes basically will give you all the information you need. All right. So what we like to do is we like to mix and match Fibonacci. We like to look at levels, retracements. So the first thing we want to learn is, let me just get this here. All right. See, we did some drawing in the past. We just happen to like this chart for drawing. All right, let's just do another one. Okay. Oh, all right. So here's what it is. Let me just remove all this stuff. That was from our prior class we done. All right, so Billy, you don't need to go from lowest to lowest and highest to highest. You can make Fibonacci. So, yeah, I'm going to get to that in a minute. But essentially what you're doing is you're looking for the lowest, the highest to lowest, from here to here, right? Highest to lowest. That's how you draw Fibonacci, highest to lowest, all right? Let's do a little, some examples. All right, I just want to do some examples. So the first thing we want to look at, and let's just forget that's there, is called a retracement, where the market goes from high to low and then retraces up. The other one we're looking at is the market goes from low to high and retraces down. All right, that's called a retracement. All right, so we're first going to do what's called a retracement. Then we take our Fibonacci, we draw from low to high. The market just went up. So now we're looking for a retracement. In a very strong trend, the market will be pulling back around 23%. In a very strong trend. In an equally strong trend, or not as strong, between 38 and 50%. All right, this is called a shallow retracement. Right here, this whole area right here, from 23 to 50, and quite honestly, unless you understand how to use the 23%, I'm going to take it off the table. Because most people don't know how to use it in terms of identifying a very strong trend. So we're going to delete that. All right, so I use the word alright a lot, so don't worry about it. Market goes up, very strong trend. So anything between a 38 and a 50% is considered a strong trend. Anything past 50%, which is a 618, or lower to a 786, even an 886, is called a deeper trend, a weaker trend. So 50% marks the halfway point with Fibonacci to determine the retracement. Now, halfway point and above, shallow. Below 50%, deeper. What does that mean? It means that if we look at a shallow retracement, we can expect the market to possibly go to new highs. When you have a deeper retracement, most likely you're not going to get new highs. You're going to get a failed high, a failure to test the prior high. So we're just talking about theory right now, just so you understand that. So with the retracement, this is called a retracement down. And likewise, if for some reason this market was selling off, you would have a retracement up. And likewise, it can go like that, all right? You just practice on your own. It can go to 38, 50, 618 retracement, but anywhere below a 50% is considered a shallow retracement. Above it's a deeper retracement. So you have an uptrend and a downtrend. Now, I want to identify how you identify a trend. When looking at the markets, to identify a trend, you have a downtrend and you have an uptrend. All right? And how you identify a trend up makes higher highs, which means that the market will rally off the low. Oops, sorry about that. That's the low. So market would rally off the low and then pull back down. And then when it stops going down and it turns up, you have a higher low and a higher high. When the market pulls back again, you have a higher low and a higher high. And establishing a trend means that the market is going up, an uptrend, which means that every high has gone further than the prior high, and every low is above the prior low. So what that means, a series of higher highs. When you hear a trend has higher highs, this is a high, this is a higher low. That's a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and you've established an uptrend. The reverse is true for a downtrend. Down, market high, market low. Lower high, lower low. Lower high, lower low. Lower low. Uptrend, downtrend. All right. All right. Now, I'm going to show you that, Ronald. We're going to talk about that. I just want to get the theory done. But since you brought it up, let's take a look. Okay. I just want to get the theory down. Here's the high. Here's a low. Here's a lower high, lower low. Just showing you even on the smallest of time frames. Lower high, lower low. Lower high, lower low. Even if we wanted to eliminate all this other ones and we just did it from here to here, the fact is the market went from high to low, lower high, lower low. So you could just see that we established a downtrend. That's a daily chart. So if I was to go to a smaller time frame, I'm sure we can do that. Smaller time frames. M1 means 1 minute, M5 means 5 minute, 30 minute, H1, H4. What does that mean? Okay, so let's start from the highest one. MN means each bar is 1 month in length. W1 is a weekly chart, so you have monthly, you have weekly chart. Each bar means 1 week. D1 means daily chart, and of course, each bar is one day. H4 is a 4-hour chart where each bar is 4 hours. H1, 1 hour chart. Each bar has lasted 1 hour. 30-minute chart, 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart, 1-minute chart, and each bar is 1 minute long. So you can look at the higher time frame or the lower time frame. Let's just take any time frame here. Okay? So the gentleman asked, how do you identify it? So let's start here. Low to high. High to higher low. Higher high higher low, higher high, higher low. You follow me, Ronald? We're establishing an uptrend. All right. So this is a perfect example of an uptrending market. See that? We can relax today. I'm not doing anything advanced. All right. So a lot of time, most of the time, we do advanced stuff, and I could do less advanced stuff. Not a problem. Do like a lot of basics. So right here, we've established an uptrending market. Low, high, lower, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. You establish an uptrend. And it's important because you want to establish these uptrends when we start laying in the Fibonacci. Fibonacci typically goes from low to high. It also can go from the higher low to high, the higher low to high, the higher low to high. And it may not make sense yet, but as we start to see these clusters, that's where it becomes important for us to buy and sell. I'm not saying we're buying and selling right there, but just want to establish the trend. So let's go back to what we were looking at before. All right. So market goes from low to high and retraces. It could be a deep, it could be a shallow retracement. And what we do is we establish data points along the way. So if we take market low, market high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, like that. What we end up doing is we take the market low to market high and we look for a retracement. What we also do is we take these other points and we draw them also. And we take these other points and we draw them also. And we start to establish the fact that possibly, and we also draw horizontal lines at each of these data points. Swing low, swing high. So we have that. And what we end up doing, guys, and put the shape in there, is we identify an area like this where everything clusters together. So what I like to do is take my Fibonacci tool and go from low to high. I go from higher low to high, higher low to high, and I establish some overlapping. This overlapping essentially is similar to a floor in a house. If you look at your floor looks like this. All right, you got the wood beams, got the plywood, all right, and it looks like that. And if we were to just draw a couple of lines here, and here, we would establish the fact that you have a floor. Market retraces down to the floor is expected to bounce away from the floor. Okay? So the reason we use Fibonacci is for the fact that we want to identify areas to buy and sell. You want to buy on the floor and you want to short them at the resistance at the ceiling. All right? I can still remember the first tape I heard back in 1994, a guy named Ken Roberts saying support is like a floor. You could bounce a ball on it and watch it bounce up, and that's your floor. And similar to the same thing, the market will bounce off the floor. Okay, so let's put this into real life action. Let's put this into real life action. See if we could establish some support and resistance. Okay. All right, let's just simple example. If we took the market high to market low, market high to market low. All right, we see it doesn't even reach there, so that's not a good example. There we go. I forgot what I was looking for, quite honestly. Okay, so let's just take this retracement zone here. All right. Let's just take this retracement zone here. Market high to market low. That's not I'm looking for an example that I can, a classic example. Better to teach on a classic example than to just teach on an example that you're not going to understand. Because there's advanced techniques to this, so I just want to show you on the basic of basics. All right. So if we take the, here we go. Let's draw this in. All right. Then we can deviate from this, but let's first understand everything at once. All right. We'll just do basic Fibonacci today. So that's pretty much what we were looking at before, right? Higher highs, higher lows. And what we like to look at, and a good example, is you want to take the lows to highs. Low to high. Then we'll take the higher low to higher high. And we're going to change the color of this, okay? And then we're going to take the higher high, higher low to high. And we're going to change the color on that also. Okay, so let's do this. What you want to do with Fibonacci is you want to eliminate the stuff you don't really need. Like for instance, you took the low to high and you did a retracement. You did the higher low to high. You did the higher low to high. All right? And you did retracements. What you're doing here is let's eliminate the stuff you don't need. Let's start with the smallest time frame here. We don't need the 50, the 618, and looks like the 38. Right click. Gonna get rid of this, this, this. here, going to right click. We're going to get rid of the 38. All right. And we're going to get rid of, now we get rid of 38%. And that's about it to start. So what it leaves is you have the highest high to shallow retracement. So from here to here, and from here to here, you have a 38% retracement. All right. From here to here, you have a 50% retracement. From here to here, you have a 786 to 886 retracement. All right, you guys got me so far. Then I insert the shape, a triangle. And we see that all this has bunched together to create that floor. You guys with me so far? So we created that floor just like we talked about. All right? So we've created that floor, right? You got the plywood on top, building that little floor. You got the plywood on the bottom, got your joists, and you got a floor. You're establishing commonality in trading. This is commonality levels. All right. So you're establishing a commonality or clustering of Fibonacci levels. When they come together like this gives you the opportunity to look at the buy. Hold on a second. Okay. You're looking at the buy side, the sell side, and in this case, you're trending up, so you're looking at a retracement to buy. And that's how I look at it. So this retracement right here was identified by what we just drew, all these little retracements. It's all based on the trend up or down, and we established that. Now, you have other things you can look at, which are called projections and extensions, and I'll show you that in a minute. All right. An extension would be, I'll get to that in a minute, okay? But we're establishing the fact of how to do simple commonality levels using Fibonacci. So I showed you retracements. There's another one that we call an extension. Okay? An extension, for instance, here to here to here is considered an extension. Here to here. That's an extension. When you look at Fibonacci tools, Fibonacci high to low, all right, this would be considered an A, B, C, right? And you have from this high to this low up pretty much a 1618 extension. If we look at, again, the 618 retracement and the 1618 extension, if we were to take this and just look at the math behind it, if you take 1 and divide it by 0.618, it's equal to 1618. If you took 1 divided by 1.618, it's equal to 0.618. So these are called what's called inverses. All right. So you take 1 divided by 0.618 equals 1.618. Or you take 1 divided by 1618 equals 0.618. This is called an inverse. The inverse is between the 618 and the 1618, dividing numbers. And this is pretty much the world's perfect number. And I'll explain that another day. So if I take an extension down, move down and extend up. So now let's take a look. Mark went from low to high, high to low. It retraced down 618. The move up is in the inverse of the 618. So market went from low to high, retraced down 618. You may not be able to see it. All right. There we go. Okay, so follow me. Market went from low to high, and then it retraced down 618 retracement. At the same token, this move down, this retracement down, eventually led to an extension right here. So we take the high to low, extend it up, and lo and behold, you have your 1618. So you have an inverse here. The other one is called a projection. Projection is from low to high and from low to high. It looks similar to this. Here is your move up. If we were just to project another move, you can see it's pretty much equal. What we also call a measured move up. Okay, that's considered a projection. So, one more time. Market goes from low to high, has a retracement. Market goes from low to high, and then goes from low to high. That's called a projection. Market goes from high to low, up is called an extension. So basically what you're learning is basic trend retracements, projections, extensions, Fibonacci retracements, Fibonacci projections, Fibonacci extensions. So how did you learn that today? Let's take a look one more time. If we take the market low to market high, market retrace 618. If we take low to high and low to high, you had a 100% relationship. If we took high to low, extended up, so which means if this was 10 and this was 0, and we extended up, so for instance, if we extended up 1.618, this would be up 16 points. So you're multiplying this length here by that. All right. So enough for this morning. You guys like the class so far? Well, it came close enough, but it doesn't have to be exact. So we're going to call this, I'm going to stop the recording.